much of history because we've been talking about this for a while, but everybody kind of forgets of how we got to where we got to. So in 2017, the legislation was created by the province of Ontario for municipal accommodation tax to be collected by the communities. So Thunder Bay went forward to look at doing that. And so Thunder Bay implemented a 4% municipal accommodation tax on September 1st, 2018. And the provincial policy dictates that a minimum of 50% of the collected MAT funds had to be turned over to a not-for-profit tourism entity for investment, with the remaining 50% being able to be used by the city for whatever it determined it would need. So to do that then, the Tourism Thunder Bay needed to merge with the CEDC on September 1st, 2018, because we needed a not-for-profit organization to receive the 50% of the MAT funds. So since September 1st, 2018, we've been working together to integrate tourism into the CEDC, and also to work on how do we put together a map. How do we put the funds to use? How do we create an investment committee to assist the CEDC board? And how do we then have an application process? So it seems like seems to some people that it's been a long time, but there's been quite a bit of work since September 1st to pull this together, to get the group, to get nominees, to get the appointments, to go through the process of creating all that. And so initially the CEDC board decided, because we had to have a starting spot, we just didn't want to have a free-for-all from the point of view of how we would look at this. So it's anticipated that $1 million will be transferred to the CEDC on a yearly basis, and that's going to depend on number of visitors, the economy, how many people show up. So we call it nominally $1 million, so we're going to split that 20% to augment our marketing strategies and campaigns, so that would be add-ons to what we presently do. 25% for convention, sport, and event support, and then 55% for product development support. And so those are the starting spots. It doesn't mean that, oh, we're entrenched from ever in a day. It was just a place that we had to start from. So we did that. And I think now, Paul, you can go over about the forming of the Tourism Investment Committee and go through some of that, and then we'll get into what's the application process look like.
Thanks, Tom. So with $1 million coming into our tourism economy, it was really essential that, for the first time in a long time, that we really had a structured partnership with industry to help manage, help guide the investment of these funds and these resources, with the goal of increasing our tourism economy in a very measurable way. And so a public request for committee members was issued in the fall of 2018 to comprise the inaugural 7-member Tourism Investment Committee. And those 7 voting members are Jim Stady, representing the Chamber of Commerce, and he's our chair. Gregory Haru from Sales Superior, representing the attraction sector, and he's the vice chair. Raymond Nadeau, representing the Victoria Inn and the Thunder Bay Hotel Association. Leslie Savitsky, also representing the Thunder Bay Hotel Association, representing the motel side of the accommodation sector. Carrie Berlinwood, who's here as well, representing the event sector, and just coming off the heels of a very successful Bruja, as a prime example of the importance that events play in growing our tourism economy. Shirley Beda Clace, she's a commercial lender with BMO, and she's represents the professional advisory side of the board, and Lauren, or the committee, and Lauren Regato, who is with Superior Strategies, and she is the CEDC board liaison rep to the committee as well. There's also 2 voting members as well, so Doug Murray is the CEO of the CEDC, and myself, or designate, are the 2 non-voting representatives on that committee. And so the committee was established and commenced regular meetings in January 2019, and started really with the development of a committee terms of reference and a starting point. From there, a review of best practices and accommodation tax investment processes from across North America. Certainly, as you saw in the first slide, hotel taxes have been collected globally by destinations around the world for decades, and they are one of the most important and powerful revenue resource tools for growing tourism economies. And so we weren't really reinventing the wheel here on a global scale, But in Ontario, we had a chance to do something really innovative. Although there were about 14 communities in Ontario already collecting voluntary taxes, under this new legislated framework, it was an opportunity for us to look at what's working in other destinations, jurisdictions across Ontario, across Canada, across North America. And from that was sort of the development priority inaugural funding programs. What does the industry need to grow? What are the demands? What are the needs? And then from there, the development and approval of intake and evaluation processes is what took us to where we are today with the launch of 2 funds. And so as you saw the earlier slide that Doug went through with 55% for product development, 25% for event attraction, event support and growth. The first program that we have is the Tourism Event Fund. And it's designed to support the expansion of festivals and events with an emphasis on growing tourism receipts. So more overnight accommodation. Bear in mind, this revenue, the hotel tax, is collected from fixed group accommodation overnight. So the goal is how do we grow that? We want visitors to stay longer, stay overnight. And for both destination drivers, events that people are going to come specifically for and stay overnight for, but also events that are going to keep the visitor here longer, value-added events and things like that that are going to extend the length of the stay for a visitor. It's about supporting year-round tourism event growth. And as sort of as any tourism economy in Canada or any four-season destination knows, winters, falls, springs can be a little slow in some economies. We're a little more robust than a lot of northern cities already. But it's really designed to look at not only summer tourism growth, but how do we fill those slower periods? How do we develop new events, new festivals? How do we attract more meetings and conventions? So the city already has a convention attraction incentive program that allows us to support new events and new convention attraction efforts to the city. But how can we do a lot more with that? How can we go after bigger events? How can we go after more robust conventions and meetings with this fund as well? And also supporting sports bid developments and hosting efforts as well. So once again, having a nimble fund that allows us as a community to take advantage of opportunities that present themselves and allows to make decisions more quickly than a traditional, having to go in front of council and request dollars midway through budget years. This creates an opportunity for our community stakeholders to have a more streamlined process to bid on events as well. So they must demonstrate, applications must demonstrate an increase in overnight visitation to the community and fixed group accommodation. What's interesting with this, it's open to not only public and not-for-profit sectors, but also to private sectors as well. And applicants are encouraged to apply a minimum of 90 days prior to events. So we really want to encourage our event planners in the community to think ahead, start planning ahead like they would with any business plan. And the program represents about 25% of the CEDC allocation of the MAT fund, so approximately $250,000 a year in that fund. The second fund, and this one's a bit groundbreaking in Canada, and in fact, even talking to our US counterparts, some destinations in the US, groundbreaking in North America in some senses. This is a product development fund, and the foundation of our tourism economy is about having strong, relevant visitor experiences that are sustainable. If we don't have good visitor experiences, all of our marketing efforts are wasted. So the foundation of our economy is having good visitor experiences. And this will help with the development of brand new visitor experiences in the city and also expanding existing visitor experiences to attract new visitors and keep people coming back to the city. Once again, it's also to support year-round tourism product development growth. So summer is certainly part of that. Summer we have a lot of really robust products and visitor experiences, but looking at how we can fill out year-round with that as well. Provide support for business planning and capital contributions. Applications must demonstrate increase in overnight accommodation with their applicants, with the projects. Funding will be considered by the committee and by the board of up to 1/3 of eligible costs of the project. And applicants must submit a business plan with their capital applications as well. Full business plan is required for that. And the program is open to public and not-for-profit sector applicants. What really makes this groundbreaking, it's also open to the private sector as well. So this is to support real business growth. And and we talk with startups, we talk with organizations that are looking to expand and grow. These dollars are really important in helping them leverage with commercial lenders and traditional lending with other government programs that are out there. So it's a really important tool to help nurture the growth of our tourism industry. And the funding envelope represents about 55% or about $550,000 approximately annually. So the application process is, as I said, both funds are open to private, public, and not-for-profit sectors. Applicants must be an incorporated or registered business entity to qualify. Applications and eligibility guidelines are online at visitthunder.com/industry-trade, and John will walk us through the website in a minute where it can be found, all the online forms, a completely online application process for it. John Cameron, who is our Product Tourism Development Officer, is the program coordinator for both programs. And CEDC business advisors, Ryan and Piero and others, are here to assist and help with business planning needs. So one of the great things about the merger of Tourism Thunder Bay with the CEDC is when tourism is a major economic driver in Thunder Bay, we're worth over $170 million a year to the economy. We work really closely with mining, we work really closely with other sectors. John's a big ally, John Mason, with the mining side of things. Believe it or not, mining and tourism work really closely together. So the alignment with us with the CEDC really creates greater opportunities for us to be more aggressive and to be more ambitious in attracting new business and thinking about tourism outside of its traditional fields and creating new partnerships in that. And gives us certainly more tools to help the industry grow. So the approval process for applications. So Tourism Thunder Bay provides advice to applicants and application evaluation through John Cameron. We'll also be providing industry outreach to stakeholders on program availability and how to go through the system and how to go through the process and guide folks through that. CEDC advisors like Ryan and the Small Business and the Entrepreneurship Center providing business planning advice to applicants as well. And Tourism Thunder Bay will bring recommendations to the Tourism Investment Committee for approvals up to $50,000. For a funding request over $50,000, the Tourism Investment Committee will make a recommendation that then goes to the board of the CEDC for final approval. And successful applicants will enter into legal agreements with the CEDC, providing for reporting and submission of project performance metrics that demonstrate a contribution to the economic overnight accommodation increases and growth in entrepreneurial and employment opportunities. So these funds are designed to grow the economy. They're designed to grow the overnight accommodation sector, the event sector. Basically, these have impacts well beyond just tourism. And what's really important with all this is this gives us the tools and the resources, the reporting resources, to be able to make better decisions as we grow our tourism strategies moving forward. So by having our applicants report and provide reporting to us, it creates new tools for us and new data to help us make better decisions moving into the future as well. So thanks for joining us.